The first international conference and training on the railway industry in Nigeria seeks to raise awareness to the opportunities in the industry. Abiodun Otunla, Managing Director, Planet Projects, joins me to explore ways to develop Nigeria's railway infrastructure. Thank you so much for joining us, Abiodun. Now, talking about Nigeria's railway industry. I call it an age-old sector, but for, of course, the project, the successful Kaduna-Abuja rail project, that really brought that, let me call it, bringing that back to our own time. I guess we're actually on track in talking about rail transportation in Nigeria. But just tell us more about this conference and what the conference really hopes to achieve.
Well, thank you very much again. Well, the first thing we need to say is there's so much happening in the railway industry, but unfortunately, it's not well communicated to the populace. As we speak today, there are over $20 billion worth of projects at different stages. All right, I'll give you an example. Federal government have signed with the Chinese, Lagos Kanu, and then we also have Lagos Calabar project. Lagos is trying to complete its own blue line, and then we have red line. Oyo State is planning something. Ogun State, we recently completed the feasibility studies for them. I'm aware Kano and Kaduna also want to do something in that regard. So there's a whole lot of activities going on, but a lot of these are not reported. And of course, there is no central focus for players in this industry to come together and then be able to chart a common cause. So what you see every day is just press release when MOUs are signed, when contracts are signed with government. We feel that this is not the way to go about it. Because railway is beyond government. It's an entire industry. In the UK, for instance, you have over 200,000 people engaged in the railway industry. These are direct employment. We're not talking about professionals, people who are working in the real estate, advertising industry. So there's a whole lot to do within this industry. Hence, the reason why we're putting this together. Okay, and the whole essence of this is to ensure that all the major players in the industry, those that have been excluded before, we can all come together and then see how we can integrate this rail project into our national economy. And that's part of the objective of what we want to achieve. Interesting.
So who's going to be at this particular conference? It's called the First International Conference and Training on the Railway Industry. Just talk us through this, the training part. I know conferences are for people to come talk and listen and share ideas, but then there's a training part incorporated. Tell us more about this.
Okay, now we have UITP. UITP is the largest body of professionals and operators of public transport around the world. They're in about 98 countries with more than 2,000 members. Well, they do these trainings all over the world, okay? And of course, as a country, as you very well know, we don't have professionals in this industry yet. And what we're trying to do is to build capacity, even though this is our own private initiative. We've had very good support from the Federal Ministry of Transport on this as well. They're sending a lot of their people. And what we want to do is to bring back the rail industry. You can't have railway in isolation and you'll be running projects just on its own. There are people who need to provide services in this industry. I'll give you an example. Look at the advertising industry. In the UK, TfL just signed the largest advertising deal ever in the world, £1.2 billion, okay, to take advantage of all the advertising opportunities within the London network. And in this country, there's hardly anything happening within the advertising industry, in the railway industry. And then you don't have engineers. You don't have professionals. Generally in IT, there are people that are doing O&M. There are people that are going to look after your tracks. There are people that are supposed to look after your control centers, even the operation and maintenance. So there's a whole lot to do. And however, there's no training. You don't have any University of Railway in Nigeria. Now, government is going to spend $20 billion. So where are you going to get the people from? Who are going to operate this railway when you're done? So this is the reason why we're putting this training together. And the whole idea is people are going to go through structured training for 3 days. Okay, all the people are going to participate. And the intention at the end of the day when you're done is for you to at least have those basic skills that can allow you to play an active part in the industry.
This is really interesting because we're talking about training people and then making them available for jobs. Job opportunities are going to be created in this sector. How long is this conference going to last?
Okay, well, the conference is 1 day. All right, and it's open to everyone.
But how much can it cover in terms of training for just 1 day?
No. The training is 3 days.
Okay.
So the first day is for the conference. And as I said earlier, the whole idea is to bring all the major players together.
But is that enough for the training? Capacity building is a major issue.
Capacity building is 3 days. This is the first instance, okay? And from this, we hope to do another series of training. Part of what we're also trying to achieve at this conference is to bring all the players. Okay. We're bringing people from the government. Various government agencies have been invited. Embassies have been invited, investors, bankers. There are different players within the ecosystem of rail industry. And we're bringing all of these people together, and together we can chart a common. Some of them are not even aware that they're supposed to play a role in the rail industry. So when you have all the players, the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Koren, different people, major embassies have been invited as well, investors, pension funds, we bring everybody to the table to say, hey, look, there's an opportunity here. But we all must come together, organize ourselves so that we can be an active voice and then be able to play a major role in this industry.
Well, thank you so much. I've been talking to Abiodun Otunla, Managing Director, Planet Project.